plumbing, electrical, lawn and garden needs. They also carry local Chautauqua wines, baby chicks, and a full line of poultry supplies to get your chicks started off right. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you looking for a way to stay safe and independent at home? If so, then you need to look at Compassionate Love Home Care. Compassionate Love Home Care provides a variety of services to help seniors and people with disabilities live safely and comfortably at home, making each day the best it can be. To learn more about Compassionate Love Home Care, please call 850-628-8438 or visit their website, CompassionateLoveHomeCare.com.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, Paula SA, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And it is a beautiful Friday morning. It feels like this is the end of our second week of the new show here live on ESPN Northwest Florida, The Inside Drive. Seems like every day since we started the show, the weather's been absolutely spectacular.
It has.
So maybe that's a theme we'll keep going.
Besides this time last Friday, we had some afternoon thunderstorms.
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't when we were doing the show.
No,
so that's not
true.
our fault.
No, that's right.
not our fault. You can always listen to the weather updates all day long right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You are listening to The Inside Drive. I'm Ryan Mulvey, joined by Jay Henley. We are sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen to us live on 104.3 in Panama City. That stretches all the way from Destin down to Mexico Beach. You can pick us up along the Forgotten Coast on 101.9, and then you can tune in up there on 102.1 in Mariana all the way up to Dothan once that tower gets put back up, probably, which if you follow our ESPN Northwest Florida Facebook page, you saw that happen earlier this week. If you don't follow our ESPN Northwest Florida Facebook page, why are you not following our page?
Exactly.
Follow that.
Hit
follow
that like.
YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. Speaking of that, you can listen and watch live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. And, of course, you can always listen live at ESPNPC.com, as well as download our free mobile app inside the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You have to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida for that one. And then, Jay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Phone lines are open today. play, you can give us a call or text. Jay, give them the number.
850-215-6290.
Go Leafs. There you go. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. Unfortunately, we knew it was going to happen. My New Jersey Devils ended their season last night in an overtime loss to the Hurricanes. At least they played better.
The Leafs are still in it, though.
The Leafs are still in it. We'll talk about the Leafs later on today. They've still got a shot. They could make some history and come back from that 3-0 deficit. It started 2 nights ago with that win to get it to 3-1. But yeah, Devils had a great year. I mean, I know they got ousted from the playoffs, and all of a sudden, all these people I knew on Facebook were Carolina Hurricane fans. So funny how that always works, and people that I would have never thought talking all this trash, but all good. The Devils had, I want to say it was a 49-point turnaround from the prior year to this year, which was a record in the most point swing from one season to the other. So definitely trending up. Won that first playoff series against the Rangers, so that was always a good one.
So when will they drop that puck again? Is that October when they kick this next season off?
Yeah, so obviously you got the rest of the playoffs, and Stanley Cup Finals will be in June. But yeah, the season kind of kicks off right about the same time as the NBA season. Late September, they'll have preseason in September, and then late September, they'll pick up the season. Apparently, she forgot what time it is.
Right, I see that.
Giving me a call here live on the show. Yeah. But yeah,
call in, Beth.
Yeah,
let's hear what you have to say.
I tried to get her to come in today, but she's busy doing like house stuff and selling real estate, so we can build these houses. As I mentioned, we're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can find them over there on 23rd Street. The exact address is 2251 West 23rd Street in Panama City. You can call the Chevy dealership at 850-250-1403, or you can reach out to Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios Kramer Marine and Outdoor over there at 850-851-0453, and then you can check out their inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. Don't forget, they are a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer, and they have Yamaha Mastered Certified techs on staff, which is a very, very hard thing to get.
We learned that yesterday. That was pretty cool.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff you don't realize that goes into all this. It's going to be another beautiful weekend on the water, so hopefully your boats or your motors are in good shape and you're ready to go, but if not, you know where to take them.
This is why I love Panama City, is we went last week to Bike Week, or Thunder Beach. Now this week it's the Ironman.
That's right.
So it's like, it's the American way. It's almost kind of like Thanksgiving. It's like we thank everything on Thanksgiving. Thank you, and then the next day it's Black Friday and everybody's running to Walmart to grab the $50 TV.
Yep, we're thankful for this meal, and then tomorrow I'll beat you up for a $299 70-inch TV.
There you go, exactly.
Hey, that's America, right?
That's America.
That's America. Well, I was going to segue. We'll talk a lot about the NFL schedule that was released last night. Speaking of Thanksgiving, my 49ers are playing on Thanksgiving, and I don't know in my lifetime if that's ever happened before.
No,
they're playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas this year.
Oh.
I don't even know if I need to get an NFL Sunday ticket with the amount of primetime games that they have.
That's going to be awesome, man. The Mulvey house is going to be rocking.
Yeah, and I love watching football on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Talk about America.
Yeah.
You eat your turkey, you take a little snooze, and then you flip it on and you watch those 3 games. You may have a nice little parlay set up for that day. So just makes things a lot more interesting.
That's right.
Speaking of parlays, we got the Bay County Chamber of Commerce tournament going on as we speak out there. There's hopefully some people maybe tuned into the show. Yes, David.
I was just going to say that the 49ers are 2-2-1 on Thanksgiving. Their last appearance was in 1972.
So it was before my lifetime. Thank you, David. That is a great stat that I didn't have to look up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Cool.
David, the host of the Afternoon Underdogs. You can join them this afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. Don't forget also, every Friday afternoon at 4:20, tune in as the ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report. I don't know if you've ever listened to that.
I have.
But they do a great job. I love listening to Tim talking about how the water is, what they're looking at. I need to talk to Tim directly because I'm like 0 for probably 600 on casts in the bayou where we're building our new house.
Right.
And, there's a lot of pinfish in there that attack whatever I got, but I can't make anything else besides a pinfish hit my bait. So I need to tune in this afternoon and maybe give them a call.
There you go. The only thing I've learned is that live bait is definitely better than frozen bait.
There's no doubt. I think you could say that in most walks of life.
And there's one guy that I learned. There's one guy that comes from Apalachicola like once or twice a week that delivers, I guess, to all the area. So there's that one.
And don't forget the guy in the corner. Yeah.
And the guy,
I don't think he ever wants to advertise on ESPN Northwest Florida, but he does a great job. I mean, people stop by and load up. I think his name, I forget his name. Bill actually stopped by and saw him.
Just made that up.
No,
never mind.
No, Bill, our new assistant pro. He stopped by and got himself some shrimp there. Yeah. That's what's so beautiful about this area. Is you got the prime rib guy, you got the shrimp guys, you got boiled peanuts all over the place. You literally don't even have to go to a store.
You don't.
Mr. Hibachi out there too?
Yes. Chopping it up, it comes right to your house, man.
The taco ambulance right across the street from us.
That's right.
There you go.
Hey, if you want to sponsor, give us a shout. Give me a call. Come visit me at Bay Point. We're picking up lots of steam, and it's so fun this morning, talking to all the people before the Bay County Chamber of Commerce tournament, doing my normal kissing babies and shaking hands and all that good stuff and letting everybody else do the work. Although me and Diego did put up all those tables this morning flying around because Dustin and his crew actually gave me a cart. It's a manual cart. You got a clutch, you got a shift. But last week, or when we did the other tournament, the gearbox was all jacked up, and I
witnessed this.
Yes,
I witnessed that.
This one is so smooth. You should have seen me flip that right in reverse, back it up right where it needed to be. But
that workhorse may have clipped a golf cart. I'm not sure, but
that's a rumor. We may or may not have it on camera either. I did so good that day too, and then I got cocky. I was talking some trash to somebody as I was driving by, and then I clipped one of our golf carts with the trailer. John, if you're listening, the golf cart was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
No worries. It literally picked up the golf cart and moved it a couple feet. But I don't even know where I was going with this whole thing. Oh, but yes, talking to a bunch of people this morning, local businesses and all that. They're listening to the show. They're tuning in. They're excited. They want to hear us talk sports, talking a lot of golf, a lot of fun stuff. And then obviously as we get closer to football season, there'll be a lot more going on in that aspect. But come visit us at Bay Point Golf Club. We've got a beautiful weekend lined up. Breakfast both days, 8 to 11. Lunch 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't forget, we do have Sunday brunch twice a month with live music from Mark Knapp's. What is it this Sunday, Jay?
It is Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day. Your time is running out to make plans, get gifts, but don't forget about Mom.
Yes.
Because that's the only person that brought you into this world.
She can take you out.
Certainly she can take you out.
That's right.
We do have a great selection of women's clothes and gear at Bay Point Golf Club. So if you're looking for that last-minute Mother's Day gift, if your mom's a golfer, you can come out and visit us. And, of course, we also sell gift certificates that you can use for golf, merchandise, food and beverage, whatever it may be. Speaking of that, we've got a big Memorial Day weekend sale coming up here. Memorial Day weekend, naturally, because it's called Memorial Day weekend sale. It'll start Friday, I want to say, which is May 26th. It'll run all the way through that Monday, Memorial Day. You can spend $200 in the golf shop on merchandise, and you get a free round of golf. So if you're going to come out and play anyway, you might as well spend the $200, go home with a bunch of sweet swag, and get a free round of golf.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be a big sale we got going on over Memorial Day weekend, which starts 2 weeks from today, which is pretty dang hard to believe. School's out 2 weeks from today. Just crazy how fast time is flying.
It is.
And speaking of time flying, we're 47 days from the Bay Point Billfish Open, which kicks off on Tuesday, June 27th, running all the way through July 2nd, culminated by the awards ceremony. At volleyball last night, I got to see Ben, who's Hannah's dad, and he's that guy I was telling you about, that tuna, that massive tuna that they caught. I was talking to him. He took him 3.5 hours to reel that bad boy in.
Oh, my God.
And Ben is a big dude. He's like 6'6", 6'7", big guy. He said he's never been more tired after doing something in his life.
And Chris said that was like in 2001 or 2002.
No. This was like last weekend.
Oh,
you're talking about the record fish, which I'm glad you asked about that, because what happens if you catch a state record blue marlin in the Bay Point Billfish Open?
$2.5 million.
That's it. I think you got a better chance of spending the money to register for the Bay Point Billfish Open and go out there and catch that fish than you do winning that Powerball or Mega Millions ticket.
Yeah.
So you might as well take a shot.
Absolutely. I agree.
Still lots of registration open. That's going to be a really, really fun event. We got a golf tournament with that on Wednesday, June 28th that is currently sold out, which is a great problem for us to have. Don't forget about South Oak Title and Closing. I actually saw Chuck Tucker out there this morning. He's playing he hadn't played in 2.5 years, which was pretty cool to see him come back out. They got 20 locations across the country, including these 4 awesome locations in the Florida Panhandle of Florida. You got one in Panama City Beach, 30A, Destin, as well as Lynn Haven. state-of-the-art offices. All real estate closing and title fees are pretty much the same no matter where you go. So as an agent, you get to choose, or I think it's the seller. Beth's going to be mad at me if I don't remember this. I think the seller gets to choose the title company. I'm almost 100% on that. You might as well choose South Oak Title and Closing. Seamless closing process. All their offices are absolutely beautiful. Everybody who works there is an expert at what they do. And even yesterday, Beth had her whole team at South Oak over there in Panama City Beach doing a little instruction. She had a loan officer or lender come in and teach all her ladies of Beach House Sales and Development.
Partnerships, that's what it's all about.
That's it.
Yep.
Also want to give a shout out to Beach House Sales and Development, but one of the newest developments that's coming to Panama City Beach is going to include Gulf Access. It's called the Cloister. It's going to be located right off North Lagoon. It's going to have access inside the lagoon. All your residents there will include docks where you can have deep water access.
Whoa! Did you just say the Cloister?
The Cloister, yes, but spelled differently than that Cloister.
Oh, okay.
And anybody who knows Sea Islands, their ears just perked up because I spelled it wrong because I tried to spell it like the Cloister at Sea Island.
Cloister.
Yeah, this is Cloyster.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And it's going to be awesome. You want to get in there soon. Some more information will be coming out, but it's going to be located off North Lagoon. It's going to have luxurious amenities such as private pools. These homes are perfect for the boating enthusiast because on North Lagoon, you're right there. You go under the bridge going from on the Thomas Drive Bridge, and you're out in the Gulf of Mexico in just a quick skip and a beat. So you can reach out, check out their Facebook page, websites, beachhousesalesanddevelopmentfl.com, or you could give them a call, 850-919-2900. But that's going to be Panama City Beach's newest high-end Gulf Access community. There's going to be 8 high-end homes with private pools in this beautiful little community.
That's great.
You can check out there on North Lagoon. So I know we are definitely excited about that one. I will touch on some the local volleyball sports last night. Can
I touch on some local golf real quick?
Yes, please do.
Cool? Yeah,
please do. You can touch on as much. You can run the rest of the show if you want. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
No. So yeah, Wednesday afternoons I teach 4 kids, and on Thursday afternoon I teach 4 kids. And so they all know each other. So they've been kind of back and forth last couple of weeks, and we've been talking about matches and stuff like that. So I will be the referee.
Tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow afternoon. I'll be a referee. We're going to do a 4v4, which, this is the thing that the kids say now, 4v4, 2v2.
It's like no cap.
Too hard to say that S.
Yeah. Liam started saying no cap, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
What is no cap?
And then I heard somebody else that was an adult say it, and I was like, am I getting old? No cap? What's that mean?
Can we define that?
Yeah. I know what no cap means, like what it used to mean.
But you don't know what it means now?
No, I do now. They enlightened me, yeah. It's like you're not lying. No cap. I'm not lying.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I'm learning something new every day.
I have a cap on. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. But no, I've seen some high school kids throughout my years, try to team up and do some things like this. But these are 11-year-olds. And so I was texting with the moms last night and the dads last night going basically like, hey, look, this is cool stuff. Like, this is how they're going to learn. They're going to learn to compete. They're going to have fun, and super cool to see. So I thought I'd give a shout out to the 8 kids that'll be participating.
Is there any Kramer boys participating in that?
Yeah, there's 3.
Maybe some McCord boys as well?
Yes. So the 3 Kramers.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And I'm bringing my son in on the back end.
Nice.
So he's going to be the 4th in the Kramer group.
And they're playing a scramble?
They're playing a scramble. And then you got Luke and Ryan and Crew. And who's going to be that? Carson. Yeah, Carson Berry. Yeah, no, Berry. Carson Berry.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Berry's son?
Yeah. So that'll be a 4 versus 4.
I need to talk to Dr. Berry and see if his particular dentistry wants to do some stuff here with the
there you go.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Absolutely.
Let me know next time you talk to him. I usually see him at sports, but
yeah.
That'd be good. They probably have it on at the dentist's office right now.
Absolutely. I think I'll see him tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Make sure.
So who are you picking in this match there, Ryan?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If Liam knew about this match, he'd be like, I need to get in on this.
Hey.
But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. They're all such awesome competitors.
They are.
And that's what makes them such good kids. I mean, there's nothing better when you're coaching kids than having kids that just love competition.
Yes.
I mean, and obviously you want to win in competition, but then it shows good sportsmanship when you don't win and all that stuff.
Right.
But I'm going to have to go with the studio sponsor. I'm going to have to go with the Kramer boys on this one. Right. I want some live Twitter action going on when this gets kicked off. What time? About 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, I think is when Gavin said the tee times were.
Yeah, 2:30. Yeah, 2:30. So, and Max Frisch. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Down that can't. Yeah. So,
that might change some things.
Yeah. Max brings the heat.
What tees are they playing from?
They're going to play the 4 tee.
Oh, sweet. They're going to go all the way back to the 4s.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I'll give an update on this Monday. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so stand by.
We'll need to know. We'll next time we'll stream the match live on ESPN Northwest Florida's Facebook page. Yeah. Speaking of youth sports in our area, Southern Elite Sports finished up their volleyball season yesterday. Just an awesome season. Really an improvement from the fall season, which was their inaugural volleyball season. But kudos to Brent and Joey and Chris and all those guys at Southern Elite Sports for just putting on an awesome volleyball season, and then all the folks over there at First United Methodist who host the volleyball. But last night, everything came to an end. Team Dynasty and the Teal Tornadoes had an epic championship match that the Teal Tornadoes came out on top 2-0. Congratulations to Deborah Skaggs and the rest of the Teal Tornadoes. Just a really good volleyball team. And they were so awesome because they're just a humble group of girls, too. Oh, yeah. They win, but they have showed good sportsmanship, and so did our girls as well. It was just a blast. It was pretty cool. After the game, they each got, one of the moms brought a Sharpie, and they all signed each other's number on their jerseys, and they all signed my coach on my jersey too. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Cool.
But
that's cool.
That's just what's so cool about sports, is it brings so many people together. Mm-hmm. And then in the middle school lower bracket, congrats to the Cobras. We were runner-up as the Lady Suns in middle school in the lower bracket. They just played a really good. They had some serious servers on that team. And then I had a chance to watch the middle school upper bracket championship, because that was in between our elementary game and our middle school game. And man, talk about a great game. Two really strong middle school Southern Elite volleyball teams. It went to 3 sets with the underdogs ended up winning that one. They went undefeated the whole season.
So in a given, I'm just curious because I haven't attended, but in a given game, how many knees and elbows are hitting the court?
Well, they wear knee pads.
Okay.
But the more aggressive the team, the more knees and elbows are hitting.
How aggressive is your team?
There's some that are pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Ryan is aggressive as heck, and I just love it because she's out there diving around all over the court, having a lot of fun. But one of the crazy things is some of the moms on our elementary team were still there as the 2 championship teams were warming up for middle school, and they were like, "These girls are in middle school?" And I was like, "Yeah, most of them are just as tall as I am." So it's legitimate, awesome volleyball out there. That's for sure.
And Chris mentioned the other day about the All-Star. It was 2 weeks ago. He was talking about, you make it to All-Stars, and next thing you know, you're 11 years old and you got the 15-year-old kid with a mustache showing up in a truck, pitching to you, and he's going to throw 90 miles an hour
as he's walking out on the field.
Yeah. I mean, it always happened. It happened to me as a kid, I promise. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just kind of part of it. You are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It is Friday, and we're going to have a lot of fun today talking about all sorts of stuff, including some in-depth coverage of the new NFL schedule release that just came out last night. Some pretty interesting games on the docket. A lot of storylines to talk about. But we're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. When we get back, Jay, I want to talk a little bit about there's more of this crazy controversial college and amateur golf stuff that's coming out. I want to talk a little bit more about that and get your opinions. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
I wanted to ask you a couple more of those fun, tricky questions. Yesterday, we finished the show with some of these questions. We didn't really get a chance to discuss too much. I threw it out there. I said, Colorado under Deion Sanders has a winning football season. What are your thoughts on that?
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning.
As we head into this afternoon and evening, a possibility of thunderstorms and some clouds and a high of 83 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour out of the south. For tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low near 72. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linden. Call 850-320-8388.
This Mother's Day, think Western wear for that special mom. And when you think Western wear, you know where to shop. That Boot Store. That Boot Store. You'll find a huge selection of Western outfits for the young to not so young mama. No need to shop anywhere else. That Boot Store. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. That Boot Store. Next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street, Panama City.
Love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida on this beautiful Friday down here in Panama City Beach. Don't forget, this Sunday is
Mother's Day.
Make sure you get out there. You got a few days left to go shopping for mom or get your reservations for Sunday brunch. She brought you into this world.
She can take you out.
Absolutely. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. It's the end of 2 weeks for us. Hard to believe it's been 2 weeks already, and we're looking forward to another great week of shows next week. I think I'm even going to have, we got a couple special guests earlier in the week.
Yeah.
We're with Olivia Bacos, who was on the USC, the University of Southern California, beach volleyball team. She was a national championship this past, last weekend, and they've won it 3 straight years in a row. And we're hopefully going to have her on the show on Monday or Tuesday. And then I know you've got a sports mental psychologist, pretty famous guy that's going to be joining us, I think, on Tuesday.
Tuesday, Phil Shomo. Yeah, he's based out of Hilton Head. He has 3 Division I golf schools that he's currently mentally coaching, and it's super cool to get in his head and kind of see how he talks to these kids and how he kind of gets a plan together and all that. So we're definitely looking forward to Tuesday for that.
That'll be fun. Next week's going to be a good time. I'm going to try to get Amy back on the show as well to talk about now what they're doing as they prepare to head to the national championship. Yeah. That's the Florida State women's golf team. Failed to mention in the first segment, we are still giving away 2 general admission tickets to Rudu, which is coming up tomorrow down there in downtown Panama City. That's going to be a music and cuisine event embracing the flavors of modern New Orleans. So if you want to win those 2 general admission tickets, you just give us a call, 850-215-6290. First caller will give those tickets away, and you can have a great time tomorrow. The weather's going to be beautiful, and if you love that type of food and music, you don't want to miss out on this particular event. I know we'd be going to it if we didn't have other stuff to do already.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were talking off the air. We were talking about the state record blue marlin fish. If you catch that at the Bay Point Billfish Open, you win $2.5 million. And David was trying to find the odds of catching a state record fish in versus the lottery. But then I started thinking about it's probably about the same.
Yeah.
And then it reminded me of a story when I was younger. We took a trip down to Cabo San Lucas and did some deep sea fishing. We do have a caller on the line.
Oh.
Who do we got out there?
Hey, this is Linda.
Hey, Linda. How are you?
Good morning.
Good.
Linda. Oh, now I know the Linda.
Yeah,
what's happening, Linda?
Absolutely. Linda from our very own Bay Point Golf Club. Tuning in every day from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. She won herself a pair of general admission Rudu tickets.
Yeah.
Linda, I'll you don't have to come into the studio to get those. I'll bring those out there for you.
Value-added service.
Yes. What are while we got you on the line, what are your thoughts on Clemson's football shot next year? What are you thinking? I'm going to put you right on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, we're always in the running there.
Yeah, you are. There's no doubt about that. You can never count Clemson out. And I think a lot of people are starting to put them
at home. Sounds good to me.
That's going to be a great game. But yeah, everybody's, Clemson's seem to, they're kind of hanging around, not being so much in the national championship talk as they used to, because, one season you lost 2 games. It's kind of like Alabama. Everybody thinks the world's ending. But I would.
We talked yesterday about the foundation of the coaches and stuff like that, and how Chris feels like Napier has a good foundation. Talk about foundation. Dabo Sweeney is foundation. I mean, he's all about foundation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's about the process and everything. And, Linda's a Clemson alumni. She ran track there.
Yeah.
Was an absolute track star, and you can see it with her kids who are all unbelievable athletes as well. Her son, Braden Masker, who's currently working a little bit for us this summer.
Awesome.
You've never met Braden before?
I had just met him this week.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have.
So I'm talking to him and I said, "What do I say?" I go, "Hey, are you Linda's son? Are you the soccer player?" And he goes, "I am the soccer player." Like I thought, I didn't know if he had a brother or whatever, but it's so you just have one, right, Linda?
She's got 3.
I have 3. They are
3.
my soccer.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Yeah. And you're the tennis player, right?
Yeah.
We're still going to set up that big match that we'll announce soon on ESPN Northwest Florida between 2 associates out there at Paypoint. You don't think I'm gonna make that happen, but that's going to be a reality. We may even do our live show from the tennis match, which would be epic. Which would be epic. But the Clemson girls golf team, they had a great bid in the regionals, and they're heading to the national championship as well. So the ACC men's baseball is getting ready for their conference championship tournament as well. So a lot of big stuff going on at Clemson.
Hey, Linda, so you guys are kicking off with Charleston Southern, it looks like, in September. Go ahead and give us that score for that first game. What you think, Clemson, Charleston Southern?
Well, and the way Dabo plays, he doesn't really like to run up the score. So
no, because he's Mr. Nice Guy.
He's Mr. Nice Guy.
He is. I mean, it's not like we won't probably kill him, but
yeah. What you think?
Hey, Charleston Southern, they're not bad.
Yeah.
We used to play them in the Big South Conference when Coastal was in the Big South.
Dabo, he'll want to get as many players playing. He likes to play as many players as he can, give them all experience.
So you think 28-14? Do you think it's going to be that close?
No. I think of at least 3 touchdowns.
Okay. I'm putting it in my notes right now. I'm making.
All right,
okay. Yeah, I'm making.
I'm thinking it's 6 touchdowns, but that's just me.
Hey, I'm going to get back to work. Quick shout out though. Saturday, Florida Roots has their second game. This will be their first home game at Tommy Oliver Stadium. So it's 7 p.m. this Saturday.
And we're definitely going to try to get the coach on at some point, and then maybe Jonah talking about the Roots program. But Braden actually plays for the Florida Roots, the NPSL. And this is his first year playing not on the, 19U team last year?
Yeah, the U19. So he's graduated to the actual NPSL team. So had a tough game with Tallahassee last week, but
he did score a goal.
He did score a goal.
His first NPSL goal.
This is against Jacksonville Armada this Saturday, May 13th, Tommy Oliver Stadium, 7 p.m.
So you can go over to that game, and then when you finish up, you can go back to Rudu and enjoy some music and food.
Now I think I'm gonna do Rudu and then the game and then Rudu.
There you go. Sounds like a perfect Saturday.
Now, Linda, if Braden makes it big in Major League Soccer, now you got to promise us that you're going to stay at Bay Point, right? You're not going to leave us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
Because we did learn this week that Major League Soccer players,
they make
a lot of money,
especially if you sign with a club team over in Europe. That's for sure.
The Major League Soccer players don't make near as much as the overseas.
Yeah, the MLS in the United States is significantly less than your big club teams.
Don't get me wrong, MLS would still be.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
Oh yeah,
be awesome.
Sure. But he enjoys it. We enjoy watching. So
good.
See y'all out there.
All right. Well, you get back to work.
Yeah, back to work, Linda.
I'll approve some bills when you send them over.
All right. Good talking to you. Bye.
Yes, thanks for calling, Linda. I'll bring the certificate to you. But yeah, her son, Braden Masker, I mean, he was a Gatorade, he was Mr. Soccer in Florida his senior year when he was at Arnold.
Wow.
And he also he was a Gatorade All-American too, which was pretty special. He plays for the University of North Florida on a scholarship over there and had a great freshman year. He played in a lot of games, started in a lot of games.
And they beat South Carolina. You know, I was talking to him.
Yeah, their spring season, they beat South Carolina here not too long ago, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that Arnold soccer program is strong, and when Braden was there, I was obviously they had won the state championship his junior year, and then they were state finalists. They lost in the championship game his senior year. But I think getting back to my billfish story, we were down in Cabo San Lucas on a vacation to play golf and do some fishing, and I had actually broke my wrist playing basketball a few days earlier.
Imagine that.
Which was a big bummer. I haven't broken anything since. I should have said that out loud. I'm going to play some adult flag this Sunday. But anyway, so we were out there fishing in the Pacific, trying to catch some big sailfish, and my dad ended up catching a pretty large mahi-mahi. That was really the first time I had fresh fish out of the Gulf, because we caught that, put it in the cooler, brought it back in the hotel, cooked it up, and did all that stuff. And then my mom caught about 150-pound sailfish that when she finally landed it, a shark came up and took it, which that's just the circle of life right there.
Yeah.
And then we hooked about a 250-pound blue marlin, and it was about 2.5 hours, and I helped out as much as I could. I think my left wrist was broken, so I could still kind of reel. We finally landed it, brought it in. We decided to keep it, gave all the meat from the marlin to the locals, and then paid that service to get it taxidermied and shipped all the way back to New Jersey. Well, the funny part of the story is when we finally landed it and got it back to New Jersey, it came in a big crate. Me and my dad are cracking it open. We get it out. We're lifting it up, and we drop it. And not the bill, but whatever the thing that is in the front, we'll call it the spear for lack of a better term, cracked. It didn't break completely off. It just cracked. So me and my dad were like, oh, you know what? So we kind of put just a little bit of glue there, put it back, got it back up on the wall. My mom never found out about it until many, many years later. And then I think they sold the fish for like $50 at a garage sale. So
it kind of I'm kind of envisioning, kind of the Christmas story with Ralphie and the leg lamp, and and all of a sudden it cracks, and fragile. It's fragile.
Very fragile, and we did not do a very good job with that. That's for sure. Talking about some of the crazy golf stories, and I know David talked to Alan on the show last night, kind of asking that same story. We talked about it earlier in the week. The U.S. Open qualifier where the guy shot 62, broke the course record, and then DQ'd himself because he fixed an aeration hole on the golf course, and that is actually against the rules. And a few years ago, when they did all these rule changes to make everything simpler, where it was you didn't know what you could fix on the green and what you couldn't. Obviously, you can fix a ball mark that your ball makes, but the loose impediments on the green you had to be very careful with, and you couldn't fix spike marks and all that stuff. Well, they changed the rules so you could basically fix anything on the green except for aeration holes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking the reason for that is because when you aerate a green, there's literally holes everywhere. So when you repair an aeration hole, you're not helping the green with the benefit of that actual aeration if you're closing up that hole, depending on how long it's been.
And that even includes tapping your putter down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, you can't touch an aeration hole.
Because we're talking about aerifying the greens at Bay Point this Monday with the small tine, so it's... but keep going, Ryan. This is interesting.
Yeah, so he fixed that. He realized it when he was telling one of his buddies after he shot the round. So he made the decision, very gentlemanlike decision to call a penalty on himself, and he ended up getting DQ'd and cost him shot at going to the U.S. Open, which I'm sure he'll be fine if he shot 62 in a local qualifier. It sounds like his game is fine. But the biggest question I had is why was there aeration holes on the greens? And maybe they punched them 3 weeks ago and it wasn't completely healed up yet. Yeah. But we've hosted 3 U.S. Open local qualifiers at Bay Point Golf Club, and part of the parameters and all the stuff when you accept the honor of hosting U.S. Open is very specific agronomic procedures, and you have to be so far away from an aeration because of stuff like this could happen. So I'm really hoping to learn more about this story and see how the aerated greens thing came to be. Maybe it was just the very end and there was small little, I don't know, but I need to learn more about that story. And then one of the other crazy things that I saw, another U.S. Open local qualifier. This is more understandable. They had an irrigation blowout on one of the greens. I think it was hole number 8 or maybe 7 on the golf course where it was particularly happening, and they had to shorten the competition to 17 holes, so they had to skip over one. But that's understandable. Stuff like that unfortunately happens, and repairing a green after an irrigation blowout is not an easy task. So the decision to skip that hole makes sense, and it makes sense because everybody's still playing the same golf course at that point.
They can't all be the Augusta grounds crew.
No, they would have had it fixed in 15 minutes, but they also probably wouldn't have had an irrigation blowout on one of the greens either. And then another crazy thing from the Division III, I don't know if it was the national championship for women or if it was, a regional or something along those lines. They had a hole location, and you see this every once in a while. They had a hole location on one of the greens. It's the Division III Women's National Championship. They played their 3rd round yesterday, and if you watch any videos on it, they're hitting up to the hole location, and the ball's not stopping. It's rolling all the way back from any angles. I don't know if you saw that, David. It's pretty crazy if you want to check it out. The NCAA, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not only just one hole. I mean, there's like 7 or 8 different hole locations where the ball's coming back to them and they're having to sit there. My thoughts on that, Ryan, is, and correct me if I'm wrong or, whatever, chime in, but D1, D2, D3. D1, all right, maybe, right? D1 golf, like greens like that. D2, maybe. D3 golf, man, you can't be doing this to these D3 golf. I've talked to D3 golf coaches before.
Yeah.
Their number one thing with D3 golf is there's some D3 golfers out there that don't have that competitive mind. They're there just for the scholarship reason.
Absolutely.
And so don't make this game any harder than it is for these D3 golfers. Just my thought. I'd love to hear other thoughts on this, but what's your thought there, Ryan?
Well, and so they ended up wiping out the 3rd round of the national championship, saying it didn't count because of these hole locations over the golf course.
Yeah.
And I think it's a combination of how fast the green speeds got in addition to where they put these hole locations. But again, it goes back to, the championship committee for these things. We've been involved in a lot of different stuff like this, and there's so many eyes usually looking at it.
Yeah.
And hole locations is one of the most important things out there. But what I think happened, and that's one of the tough things when you're preparing for championships as a golf course, is it's easy to let your greens get out of control.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about green speed and wanting to be fast and fast and fast. But if if we're preparing for something where we're trying to get the greens at 12 or 13 on the stimp meter, you can't just go all out and double cut and roll for 7 straight days, because by the time you actually get to the tournament, they're going to be unplayable. Yeah. And I'm guessing that's what might have happened with this particular golf course, is they're like, we got to get these things fast. And instead of, maybe double cutting every other day or every 3rd day and rolling like 2 or 3 times leading up to the tournament.
Yeah.
Instead, they went all in, and you lose a little bit of that control.
Yeah, and then, from the USGA, they're all about pace of play. So you can't have your cake and eat it, too. You can't expect these D3 golfers at this age to play in under, at 4 hours when they can't even get a putt to sit within a 3-foot circle of the hole they're putting from.
That's right.
So USGA's got to, you can't have your cake and eat it, too.
Well, and this is the NCAA on this one.
Oh, well, okay, yeah,
The NCAA does some crazy stuff, so... Yeah. It's but check it out. I mean, you can search it and you can see these ladies hitting putts up there and the ball just rolling back. And there is a lot of parameters when it comes to unfair hole locations and things like that. But if you putt up to a hole location and miss it, your ball can't roll back to you. It's just straight up fundamental golf.
Well, and so Augusta's typically about a 14 on the stimp meter. Yep. A stent. The device used for it is just a ruler. I mean, it looks like a ruler. Yep. It's got a little
45-degree angle, and
there's a pinhole at the top, and all that green superintendent is doing is basically lifting that ruler up until that ball comes out of that hole. And I guarantee you, the greens. You need to check it out on Instagram, but you can see these greens. They got to be running maybe 16.
I would like to see what they did to stimp it. But I want to talk a little bit more about the stimp meter and how that all works. But you're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, we got 3 great local shows every Monday through Friday. Starts off with the Coach James Hale show every 7 o'clock to 9 a.m. And then you're joining us here on the Inside Drive from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Monday through Friday. And then followed up by the afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. with today featuring the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report at 4:20 with Tim Braddock. So you make sure you want to tune into that. We're going to talk some more golf, some NFL NFL schedules here coming up soon. You can listen to us live here on 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 and along the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 in Marietta. I'm Ryan Mulvey, joined by Jay Henley, and we'll be right back.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
In Panama City, we say shop local. And now you can at the Local Cafe. The Local Cafe is a new restaurant run by locals. Open 7 days a week, starting with breakfast at 7. Try the 2-2-2 for breakfast. 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, and 2 sausage patties. The best home cooking, like country fried steak, grilled pork chops, meatloaf, Salisbury steak, and many other delicious dishes. Plus the best homemade cakes and pies. The Local Cafe, 23rd Street, near Home Depot.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC Network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at ESPNPC.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, Farm to Radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studio on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep making noise! Keep making noise! Yeah!
Best intro of the 2 weeks thus far. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Don't forget, you can watch us live if you want to and see our beautiful faces on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch. And don't forget to visit ESPNPC.com. And while you're on ESPNPC.com, scroll down until you see that Tiger TV Pro logo. And you click on that. Tiger TV Pro is just $15 per month. It has over 6,000 channels, including SEC, ACC, NFL, MLB, NBA, Showtime, HBO, and more. Again, just visit ESPNPC.com.
You know, Ryan, every time I drive up to the studio, I see the 104.3 van, and it reminds me of the A-Team. I'm thinking Mr. T. I'm thinking Mr. T and Murdoch's going to come out of the van and get me or something like that.
I definitely feel that way when I'm driving it around the city, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Halloween next year, we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
We're just going to drive around. We'll all play a role and have some fun.
I like that idea.
Who's going to be Mr. T? I think David's Murdoch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll find a Mr. T. Maybe we'll bring Alan down from Virginia. And
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, no, the van. It's an awesome van. Is that where you guys take that to Dave and Buster's?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
I love
so if we do any remote shows during the Bay Point Billfish Open, Jay, you're going to have to drive the van over there to the Bay Point Marina.
Yes, sir. I will. Yeah.
But yeah, you were talking about the stimp meter, which is just a quick thing I wanted to touch on in golf. And everybody always wants to know, what's your green speeds? What's your green speeds? What's your green speeds? And green speeds you got to be very, very careful with, especially when you have a plethora of ability playing on your golf course. You know, if we ran a 12, 13 out there every day, yeah, it would be awesome for, probably 10% of the people we have. But for pace of play purposes and making sure people are enjoying their round of golf, unlike these Division III ladies players did yesterday, I couldn't imagine trying to play that. Now, Now, you do see stuff like that during the old superintendent's revenge type tournaments, where you set up the pins in the hardest spots, you put stuff in the way. Those are always fun tournaments to do. There's no doubt about that. Local sports, we got 2 huge games tonight with Arnold High School and South Walton. You've got Arnold High School continuing their state championship bids, playing Baker County tonight. That's going to be a really, really good game over there at Baker County. Winner advances to the next round of the state championships. And then, of course, you've got South Walton that's facing off against Bishop Kenny. South Walton's ranked number 1 in the state in 4A, and I want to say Bishop Kenny is probably like 5 or 6. So that's at South Walton. So in our listening area on 104.3, you can tune in anytime on ESPN Northwest Florida. But good luck to the South Walton varsity baseball team at 7 p.m. And then, of course, good luck to the Arnold baseball team as well tonight at 7 p.m. Again, as they continue their state championship bids. And then tomorrow, 2 more local baseball schools. Awesome to see so many baseball schools still in the state tournament right now. You've got Bozeman will be hosting Chipley at 7 p.m. That's a great matchup. 2 really strong baseball teams. Patton does an awesome job over there. Really good stuff. Bozeman being ranked 3rd in State 1A, and the Chipley Tigers, I believe. Yeah, I think they're the Tigers. The Chipley Tigers are ranked 6th in the state. So really good matchup right up the road over there in Chipley. And then good luck to the Mosley varsity baseball team as they are playing Buckholz in a big matchup of 6A varsity baseball. The Buckholz ranked 4th in the state, and Mosley is ranked 5th in 6A. In 6A, not in the entire state, just in 6A. Mosley's ranked 32nd in all of, I wonder where South Walton is ranked in the whole state. I can find that out here really fast.
While you're looking for that, I was going to say Bozeman football. If you want to watch a little spring football, that's tonight at 6:30.
So much going on this weekend.
I know, yeah. Take that 8-mile trip up Highway 77. Red, white, and blue game, 6:30 kickoff, Bozeman Stadium. High school and middle school is going to get out on the field. $5 admission fee. Full concessions featuring barbecue plates.
That sounds delicious.
That does sound good.
And nothing better than watching some football.
In the spring, too.
Any level.
Oh, yeah.
Spring football is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so South Walton, obviously, they're ranked number 1 in 4A. They're ranked 15th in the entire state. That is pretty dang impressive. And then Bishop Kenny is ranked 14th in 4A, 96th in the state. So based on rankings, South Walton has a pretty strong advantage in that one. So good luck to the South Walton varsity baseball team. As I mentioned, not only got Mosley playing Buckholz tomorrow at 7 p.m., and that's an away game, and Bozeman will be hosting Chipley at 7 p.m. as well. So good luck to all the local baseball teams as they continue their state championship runs. Hopefully we can have at least one state championship, maybe a couple.
Yeah.
Get some kids coming in, which would be really, really cool.
Yes, sir.
But got a lot of the softball conference tournaments are going on as we speak, and then we're getting closer to the I've been wanting to talk baseball, college baseball, since we started the show.
Yeah.
And really haven't had a chance to get it going, especially with my Coastal Carolina. Chanticleer is ranked inside the top 10, currently ranked number 9 in the country. But real quick, running through the coaches poll that is for this week, May 8th through the 14th. You've got Wake Forest, who jumped LSU on this last rating. They're 40-7. LSU coming in 2nd, Arkansas 3rd, Vandy 4th, Florida 5th. 4 SEC baseball teams ranked inside the top 5. That's pretty impressive.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Baseball and football. Stanford rounding out number 6, followed by South Carolina, Duke, as I mentioned before, Coastal Carolina at number 9, and the University of Connecticut rounding out the top 10. So you've got 6 teams from the SEC inside that top 10. And then you've got, it looks like 2 from the ACC, 1 from the Sun Belt Conference, go Chants, and then Connecticut playing in, let's say that's the Big East? Big East baseball there.
Yeah.
So a lot of their conference tournaments are coming up here in a couple weeks. Baseball runs pretty good into the summertime. The ACC tournament will get kicked off on May 23rd. That's going to be hosted in Durham, North Carolina. The ASUN tournament, because we love Lipscomb University, that's going to be starting on May 23rd as well, hosted at Concord Park down there in DeLand, Florida. And the A10 will skip over. Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to say, Ryan, I'm cruising through this top 25 D1 baseball, and it's like those are big-time colleges all through, and then you skip down to Number 18, Dallas Baptist.
There you
How
go.
about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Campbell University. The Campbell Camels.
Oh.
I actually toured that school when I was looking at colleges because they had a PGM. They have a PGM program.
Okay.
They're in a really good baseball team. But God, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Whereabouts?
I couldn't even remember the city that Campbell is in.
Sounds
without
like
looking it up.
in some cornfield somewhere. Or something.
It's in North Carolina.
Okay.
And it is. We pulled up and I spent some time with the golf coach and was watching the golf team practice, and I was kind of looking around saying, I don't know if there's a lot of stuff to do up here, but
tobacco farms.
Yeah, right in the heart.
Or used to be, yeah,
for sure. But yeah, the Big South used to be where Coastal plays. The Big Ten tournament gets kicked off. That's hosted over there in Omaha. Nebraska's the host team on that one. All these conference tournaments start on May 23rd. We'll have some more information on that as we get closer to when they get kicked off. The SEC tournament, which I know is a bucket list tournament for a lot of people. I think Coach Hale said he was heading up to that one, if I'm not mistaken. That's always hosted there in Hoover, Alabama, getting kicked off on again May 23rd. And then the Sun Belt Conference, which I know a couple local people have some college baseball kids that play in the Sun Belt team, including Joey and Christine Pettis. Their son is a pitcher for Troy and has been doing a really good job. That'll be held there in Montgomery, Alabama. So again, just up the road. So if you're looking to watch some awesome baseball conference championships, there's not too far away. You can head up there to Hoover, which is just outside of Birmingham, or you can go to Montgomery and watch that Sun Belt tournament. So good luck to all the teams in that. I know we've got some big series coming up this weekend. You've got games going on today. I know Florida State's got to play Wake Forest, the number 1 team in the country. That's over there at Dick Howser Stadium. Probably a nice cheap ticket to go watch some really good baseball. May not be from Florida State, but definitely not having the greatest year. And then you've got a huge series and a huge matchup tonight at 5:30. You've got Vandy taking on Florida, the number 4 team and the number 5 team in the country, playing a series kicking off tonight. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, and Campbell, like I said, the Campbell is currently ranked 11th in the country.
Oh, wow.
Linda Masker's ACC Clemson, number 21st in the country. They take on Virginia Tech this weekend, starting tonight at 7 p.m. I got to give a shout out to my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, who will be playing just down the road in a Sun Belt Conference matchup against South Alabama. I know Bill is actually heading to Mobile this weekend, so he's going to catch a Coastal Carolina game, I believe, tomorrow afternoon, which will be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to go to one of their games. It just hasn't worked out yet. In the
baseball game?
Yeah. I want to take Liam, especially now he's big into baseball currently, so I'd love to take him to a live.
That may be as close as they get to here, I would
Coastal,
think, right?
South Alabama, and then Troy. But I think South Alabama may be a smidge closer, like 2 hours and 45 minutes or so with Troy. Probably about the same.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities. Another big SEC matchup tonight, 7:30 p.m. Number 7 South Carolina traveling over to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the number 3 ranked Razorbacks in college baseball. So a lot of really good matchups on tonight. What's awesome about college baseball nowadays is if you have ESPN Plus, you can pretty much watch any college baseball game that you want to a certain degree. I've been able to watch several Coastal Carolina baseball games due to that. So you've also got Kentucky and Tennessee kicking off, the number 16 team and 20 team in the country, facing off over there in Knoxville. College baseball, the College World Series. You talk about the NCAA basketball national championship, NFL playoff hockey. The College World Series, I'd throw right up there too. That would be awesome to go up to Omaha one time and witness that in person. I still remember when Coastal Carolina won their World Series in 2016. It was just this really crazy, magical run. They kept winning games that they shouldn't have been winning, and then they got delayed the night game that they had a chance to clinch, and it got moved to the day. Then it was like on a Monday the next day. So I was watching that when my office, and when they got that final strikeout, it was pretty loud in there, which was exciting because that's what's so cool about college baseball. You're talking about Dallas Baptist, Campbell University, the Power 5 conferences, the big time programs. They're always there, but you've always got a shot in baseball and even softball to have some of these outside, not such prominent programs that you remember have a shot to win national championships in that sport.
Is there anything else that goes on in Nebraska besides the College World Series?
They used to play football there too, and they're on the up and up for sure.
Okay, yeah. That's what,
Sorry, any Cornhusker fans out there? I know my former boss at St. Joe is a Nebraska alumni, so I doubt he's listening. But they're
just having some fun.
Yeah, that Nebraska-Colorado game. I know the Cornhuskers will be ready to take down the Buffaloes in that one. They want that matchup. When Colorado left the Big 12, I know Nebraska's still a little bitter about that, but that's a big game that'll be coming up this fall. But yeah, the college, like I said, the softball tournaments are well underway, finishing up as they're just a little bit early. Like I said, we're going to jump into some NFL schedule here at the top of the hour. I want to get Jay's thoughts on all that fun stuff. Don't forget about South Oak Title and Closing, 4 locations across the Florida Panhandle, right there in 30A, Destin, Panama City Beach, as well as Lynn Haven. I mentioned at the top of the show, Chuck Tucker out there he's playing golf in the Bay County Chamber of Commerce tournament that's going on as we speak. Hopefully they're moving around pretty quick out there and having a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day for golf, and reach out to us at Bay Point Golf Club if you want to host a golf tournament with us. It's a great way to raise money for your organization, your youth baseball team, your whatever charity you're involved with. It's a really good, easy way to make a bunch of money. And even if you're just wanting to put on a fun event for your company or employees, we can help you with all that stuff. Jay, we haven't revisited the tip of the week yet today, but tell people how they can get in touch with you on how to schedule some private lessons to get that game better, or some of the camps that you got going on.
Yeah, so you can go to www.golfwithjay.com. You can call me at 770-584-3506. Again, that's 770-584-3506. I still do have a few spots available in certain camps throughout the summer. They're in age brackets, so we've got ages 7 to 10, ages 11 to 14, and we'll have 4 different camps going on periodically throughout the summer. So please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, it's a lot of competition-based junior camps. The kids don't have to know much about golf, or they don't even have to have golf clubs. But we'll pair them up with a junior that is a little bit more experienced, and that allows them to kind of visualize how a more experienced junior golfer swinging the club and different things like that. So again, visit www.golfwithjay.com.
It's the easiest website in the world to remember. It's just golfwithjay.com. We got the top of the hour coming up. We're switching to the afternoon. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Tonight, exciting interleague play returns as the red-hot Atlanta Braves take on the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch at 6:07, right after the afternoon underdogs. On the official radio station for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. On the official radio station for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a possibility of thunderstorms and some clouds, and a high of 83 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour out of the south. For tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low near 72. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC Network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
Gulf Coast Aquarium is now Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet. They have a full line of live reptiles and reptile supplies, including the area's largest supplier of ZooMed products. ZooMed, a family-owned business with over 45 years of U.S.-based manufacturing. ZooMed is #1 in reptile products worldwide and is now available at Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet, 469 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
Desert, Lynhaven, WTOT, W271D in Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, Paulette SA, ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot.
Goddamn. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. Jay, it's that time when we switch from the morning to the afternoon. We do it every day, Monday through Friday. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can listen to us on 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast, as well as 102.1 in Mariana, all the way up there to Dothan, including our friends in Southwest Georgia. We stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every day. And the beautiful thing about that, if you missed the show, you can go back and watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube, and you can watch it on Twitch. And then, of course, you can visit us at www.espnpc.com. Click the Listen Live button, and don't forget to download our free mobile app. Just search ESPN 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. We're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You can visit them at 2251 West 23rd Street. All you got to do is head down 23rd Street, and you can't miss any of the Kramer buildings. You can give the dealership a call at 850-250-1403 or give Kramer Marine and Outdoor a call, 850-851-0453. And as Chris says on the ads, if you're tired of waiting for 2 weeks for your boat to get, or your vehicle or your boat to get repaired, give them a call. That Kramer Marine and Outdoor is their Yamaha outboard full-line dealer, Yamaha Master Certified mechanics on staff, as well as a Seabourn, Spider Boat, and Sundance Boat dealer.
Chris also says, make it easy, take good care of you.
That's right. Yep. That's right. There's no doubt about that. And then the dealership has tons of new vehicles in stock, way more than they've had the last several years. Trade-in values are still high. And they do what, Jay, that a lot of dealerships don't do? What do they do with those wheels? They sell those tires at cost.
Yes, they sell those tires at cost.
There you go. I'll count that. That's a 2 for 2. That's a 2 for 2 today. And then visit South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate closing needs. Fees are virtually the same anywhere you go, so you might as well choose South Oak. I personally know from many closing experiences that they are seamless and they do a fantastic job. So visit Chuck Tucker. And, Alan's on the line. I was going to give Keith a shout out, too. I think that's why Alan probably called, because he knew that was going down. Alan, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Real quick, your boy Doc Rivers just doing normal Doc Rivers stuff yesterday. That's for sure.
Oh, my God. I have no words for what I saw in the last 2 minutes of that game. I've never seen a professional team just quit. Like in a playoff game, that was unacceptable.
Yeah, and that stems right from the coach.
Yeah.
But he's 17-32 or something like that in games to win a series in the playoffs.
Yep. Doc Rivers is so bad they don't even need to send Scott Foster up there to ruin it. They'll just let him do it themselves.
They'll just let it implode and make it happen. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody was talking about Doc Rivers last night after that epic collapse there at the end of the game, and 3-3 in that series. That's going to be a big game. 2 huge games on Sunday.
I was about to go back and find the recording where I was ranting about how he's just wasteful. But
yeah.
I'm like, it's not even worth it, man. Everybody sees it now. I think it's funny to say, but this was probably the biggest stage as far as like all eyes being on this series for that particular time frame. And then it was just there for everybody to see. I mean, for once, Stephen A. Smith was even speechless.
Yeah, and if he's speechless, that's it's a big deal. That's for sure.
But Alan, don't you think it's a prerequisite to be an NBA coach and not ever actually even touch a basketball? What's your thoughts on that, man?
So my thoughts is, I think that you can make an argument that coaching can be done without firsthand experience. Like
golf is a really good example.
There's a few.
Yeah.
My favorite is obviously God rest his soul, the Pirate from Mississippi State, Coach Leach. I don't think he played pro ball or played like football at all. I think he had like a law degree or something like that, or he had some other major. Yeah. But this man invented the air raid offense, essentially. Like, it not only, well, I wouldn't say he invented it, but he made it his own thing. Like, he modified it. He was capable enough to get on a staff and then branch from that staff, have his own coaching tree and so forth and so on. But, I mean, statistically speaking, there's not enough examples of that at the highest level. But Doc was a point guard, so he should know better. Like, he should know how to manage games. You know, like, that's even worse for him. If you look at it from that perspective, like, dude, you are a point guard. You can't tell momentum swinging. You don't know how to slow the game down, how to speed the game up. Like, what's going on?
Crazy.
You think he'll have a job sometime soon?
He'll always have a job, man. I don't know what he's got on the league, man.
Why does he always at the top of the line for these open positions that come up? What is it about him that they keep bringing him back despite not being able to close as much when you should be able to close?
He doesn't ask for a lot, I think. I really think he's like easygoing. You know, from a standpoint, you'll always be a contender, but you'll always have these failures as well. So for franchises who, in the case of the 76ers, regardless of what happens, is still probably further than they've been consistently getting, there's always that argument to be made. But, you know, a Celtics, Lakers franchise that's used to winning championships, it's not good enough.
Fun fact from our producer, who's also the host of the Afternoon Underdogs, David Hayes, Mike Leach played at BYU, but injured his ankle and then got into coaching. He never actually played a game, but he was on the roster at BYU and then injured his ankle, and the rest is history, the air raid offense. But, yeah, it's
Leach at BYU, wow.
Isn't that bizarre? If you were to pick all the Division I universities that he would be at, BYU it would not be at the top of my list.
No,
that's for sure.
That's incredible.
I will miss that coach's interviews, man. They were just so out there, and it was so fun to watch.
Well, he's been on the morning program with Coach Hale. He's a good friend of Glenn Manley, and just a great guy. Just a great guy.
Leach really hurt me like I lost a father, man. Like, for me, as an X and O guy, I love watching like the creativity of the offensive minds and the defensive minds, just innovators in any sport, honestly, really reach out to me. And I have lobbied and loved Mike Leach from the first day I seen him coach. And even the side stories, like about how he dropped the playbook, the fake playbook in the in the Red River. Like, it's incredible. Like, it's just incredible.
He's just a
and
genius.
he seemed like a genuine guy, so.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Awesome stuff. Well, I can't wait to, as we get into NFL season, I can't wait to talk more about all that stuff, because NFL is really, my bread and butter when it comes. I just love the X's, and that's why I love the Niners so much, and Kyle Shanahan and all that good stuff. But let's pivot. NFL schedule released last night. Obviously, we knew some of the games already, but the full season got released. A lot of interesting matchups for sure. I thought some interesting matchups for the Niners having a game on Thanksgiving and Christmas. We talked about earlier in the show, I don't know if you're listening, I think it was 1972 was the last time the Niners played a game on Thanksgiving Day.
Beth, if you're listening, you don't have to get him a Christmas present this year. He's already got it. He's got the 49ers on Christmas Day.
That's right. Maybe some more 49ers swag, because I don't have enough of that. But,
right.
But yeah, so talking about some of the primetime games, there was teams with 4 or more primetime games. We'll start with 4 games. You got the Ravens, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Lions, the Bears, and the Bengals. Rounded it out with 4 primetime games. And then teams with 5 games, you've got the Giants, the Packers, which I thought was a little surprising, the Eagles, the Jets, the Niners, the Raiders, and the Vikings. And then you had 6 games for these primetime teams. Boo, the Dallas Cowboys, but we know why they get primetime games. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Bills. So a lot of primetime games. Teams have, I know the Niners have 2 Thursday night games on their schedule this year, which we know the NFL guys really hate Thursday night games.
I hate Thursday night games. As a gambler, it's the worst.
Wow, with injuries and recovery and this, and you see so many crazy things happen in Thursday night games. And maybe they're trying to make them a little better this year, but last year's Thursday night lineup was terrible.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they could have predicted that, as far as how bad they were. But it really got bad when I started watching, Pittsburgh versus Louisville over Thursday night football game.
Over the Russell Wilson Broncos and somebody. Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys catch that Chargers video I sent you?
Yes.
It's phenomenal. They have the best PR team ever.
Well, and did you see, too, the Tennessee Titans, they released their schedule release video was literally them. I had sent it, and David, I don't know if you saw that or not. They went around, I want to say it was in New York. Here, I got it here in just a second. They went around, they're just in Nashville. They went down to Broadway in Nashville with a mini mic and asked people to guess the team logos of each of their teams and the schedules, and the answers they were getting were brilliant. But what happened is they've had over 6 million views across their social media platforms with such a silly idea like that.
Makes the Titans fans look great, don't it?
I think when they put the Chargers logo up there, they're like, somebody said Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I will give them some leeway. Nashville's a big bachelorette town. So half the people out there are probably intoxicated.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's kind of cool how the schedule release videos are such a big thing from each team now, and leave it to the NFL to make the schedule release such a big production and lead up to it, which it gets me excited. I was at volleyball last night, and when the Niners schedule came out, I'm looking at Wednesday playing Jacksonville, how many Monday nights, all that good stuff. When are they playing the stupid Eagles?
Yeah. Oh God.
My wife and son are Eagles fans, so.
Oh man.
I know it's rough.
That is tough. But yeah, no, that Chargers anime schedule release was pretty awesome. They put some serious work into that. The PR team did a great job.
Alan, I thought you'd be a little Ravens fan. What about the Ravens, man?
So, quick backstory. My mother's side of the family are diehard Steeler fans. There was a time my uncle has been a season ticket holder for the Steelers since probably the 70s, and I told him that I thought Ray Lewis and that defense was better than the Steel Curtain, and I've literally been disowned. so it's a touchy subject.
Okay.
If I were a Ravens fan, I would not be able to speak about it in my household, so I stayed with the Niners.
Alan, I wanted to ask you about how your uncle felt when they went from Heinz Field to Acrisure Stadium and they brought the ketchup bottles down, but they're bringing those back, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be bringing them back, and bless his heart, he actually helped lay the foundation at the old stadium, so it was very sentimental for him. But, I mean, times are changing. He understands. They still gave him his little box seats and stuff, so the complaints were not too loud.
There's so many changes going on and all that stuff. But, some of the big matchups they've been talking about going into this season, a lot of them surround the rookie quarterbacks that are coming into the league, and they got some NBC released their 12 must-see games on the 2023 schedule, starting with the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons in Week 1. The reason, and everybody would say, why is this an important game? Well,
why?
The question is, will Bryce Young make his NFL debut? So
what?
Yeah. How would
is that
how
a
would he
real
not?
question?
No, maybe
I was going to say.
Maybe they'll put the what do they call Andy Dalton? What's his nickname?
The Red Rifle.
Red Rifle?
The Red Rifle.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. You may see the Red Rifle out there. Go ahead, Alan.
I'll say this, man, and this goes for any NFL program. If you take a pick in your first 2 picks, or 3 picks actually, and you get a quarterback, and that quarterback can't beat out whoever he's behind, then you made a bad pick.
What do you mean, like Trey Lance for the 49ers?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That is where I was coming from with that.
Start Jimmy G over him and making him look good.
If he can't beat out Jimmy G, come on, man.
That pick still baffles me, and it may come to fruition, but we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
We'll skip to another one in Week 1. It's the Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. I think the reason why that's such a storyline is because people want to see it. You've got Sean Payton in there now at the Broncos. Mm-hmm. What's Russell Wilson going to look like? Their season last year was an absolute disaster. But I don't know if Sean Payton's. I don't know if Russell Wilson is the real deal when it comes to the quarterback, or his time in Seattle when they had that just ridiculous defense, and he was kind of on the beginning side, not the beginning side, but kind of the beginning side of that scramble quarterback that can extend plays and make crazy stuff happen. Because if you give your quarterback 6 or 7 seconds, somebody's going to be open. What do you think about Russell Wilson going into this year?
So I thought, and being from the Richmond area and then a Niners fan, we saw a lot of Russell Wilson. I really thought that the coach was a Haslett from he came from the Packers.
Yeah, Daniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett, sorry.
Yeah, he was the worst NFL coach I've ever seen. I could not believe that he actually designed an offense or ran an offense. It looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And it was kind of the situation with the Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury. Like, these guys had systems where they had passing attacks that didn't have any outlets for their quarterbacks. Like, they don't have any checkdowns. They don't have any spacing in the offense. It's just like, it's not how the NFL works anymore.
Yeah.
And so for Russell Wilson, I'm not going to give him too much as far as it not being his fault, because he wasn't even executing the simple throws.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think a lot of that dysfunction was just the byproduct of a quarterback and a head coach not on the same page at all. I don't think Sean Payton is that type of guy. He's not going to cater to Russell Wilson. He's not going to be, my way or the highway either, but there will be an understanding of what the point of attack is, what we're trying to accomplish here, and then the plays will be designed to not only display his ability, but give these guys, these playmakers, an opportunity to work. Like, you got KJ Hamler, you got Jerry Jeudy, these dudes who can operate in space, and you're running them 15, 20 yards down the field for what?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. So I'm more optimistic with a veteran presence. I think Pete Carroll doesn't get enough credit for his leadership as a head coach either, because he's kind of laid back. But he is a veteran presence, and I think that's what Russell needs. He doesn't need any more yes men.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be need to be the one running the ship. The coach needs to be running that ship and crafting the offense the way it should be. Next, and obviously it'd be interesting to see how Jimmy G does for the Raiders as their starting quarterback. And I always love Jimmy G. He did some really stupid stuff, but man, was he efficient when he was good. And I think if he would have stayed healthier, he would have had a lot better run in the NFL, or with the Niners anyway, for sure.
I am convinced that all you have to do to Jimmy G is take away his first two reads, and he's done. Because he doesn't go through progressions quick enough, man. Like,
yes, he's so slow.
It's wild. Yeah.
Which is crazy, because he has one of the fastest releases as a quarterback, but that's probably why, because he slows down his progressions, so the quick release has to happen. But yeah, I think that's why Brock was so successful, is because he could read 4 or 5 progressions in the blink of an eye and then make the right
Brock
decision.
Is incredible.
Yeah, just a really smart young quarterback. Next, we'll go with the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. That's September 11th. That's the first Monday night football game. Aaron Rodgers at home on the anniversary of 9/11. Got the Buffalo Bills coming into town. Talk about an epic first Monday night football game. Do the Jets have a shot to win that game with Aaron Rodgers at the helm?
Is it too early to lay my points?
No, absolutely not.
Anything under 3, let me get the Jets. Anything over 3, let me get the Bills. It'll probably come down to a field goal. Just because that's how those games usually go when they are both competitive. I was just sitting, spamming my football chat with Kincaid highlights. He is my favorite tight end. I was so happy to see the Bills pick him up. I think he's going to be such an X factor for their offense because he's a bigger body than a receiver, but he moves like a receiver, and he's got tight end physique. He's got a lot of Kelsey in him.
Yeah.
And the guy only dropped 2 passes his entire collegiate career, and some of those catches were ridiculous. So I think that dynamic is really going to help the Bills. And then on the other side, you got probably, I think, the best pure pass rusher in McDonald for the Jets defense, getting with Williams, with Mosley. You know how our guy Sauce is as far as where he's at with his career. He's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting game. I think Aaron Rodgers is a different look than the Bills are used to seeing, and that'll be the reason probably why the Jets either win a close one or just lose.
This is one I'm very much looking forward to for sure. Hey, Alan, I know we're going to keep you on the line. I want to talk a lot more about NFL, and maybe Jay will even chime in on something with the NFL too. That'd be cool. But you're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You can listen to us live here in Panama City Beach, Panama City on 104.3, 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast, and 102.1 all the way up to Marianna, Southwest Georgia, as well as Dothan. We are sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. We'll be right back. We've got Alan Sandage on the line with all this NFL schedule excitement.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Tonight, exciting interleague play returns as the red-hot Atlanta Braves take on the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch at 6:07, right after the afternoon underdogs. On the official radio station for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. On the official radio station for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. A likelihood of thunderstorms and partly cloudy the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and temps near 83. We will have partly cloudy skies tonight and be warm at 72. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC Network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're gonna have a talk.
Tell me what you know. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is like Beth's bat signal. If she's listening right now and this is playing, she's jamming out. I know that for sure.
Yes.
And Luda. Before she's going to any of her big-time listening appointments and stuff like that, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but she jams her some Luda out there.
I love it.
Just don't be in her way when she's driving, when she's jamming Luda. Cause she
oh,
won't.
man.
Yeah.
She would have loved to have been at Brooks Koepka's birthday party.
Yeah,
then, huh?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, we may or may not have Luda on the Dynasty warm-up playlist for flag football.
Yes, sir.
Definitely some Luda out there. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Make sure if you need to get your boat out on the water, you got an issue with your motor, whatever it may be, you don't have to wait 2 weeks. Take it to Kramer Marine and Outdoor and they'll get you back on the water ASAP, because it is that time of year now. And it's a great time of year for locals to be on the water. We're kind of in between, not a ton of tourists in town quite yet. Memorial Day is 2 weeks. Memorial Day weekend is 2 weeks from today. Yeah. So make sure your boat is in tip-top shape, because you don't want to be out there going to Shell Island or going out in the Gulf and doing some fishing and things break down, because then you got to call somebody to come get you.
Kramer Marine's got you.
Yeah, Kramer Marine's got you.
Yep.
Make sure you give them a call. It's 850-851-0450. 888-866-3653. We've got Alan Sandage on the line. Alan, jumping right back into these NFL big games. This is another one. You got some. When I was looking at this last night, I was like, these are big games, and then I started understanding kind of why. Week 2, you've got the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. The only reason why that's an exciting potential game is because C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson could be facing off. It'd be an interesting game to see what that one looks like.
Yeah, Irsay said that Richardson was going to be a day one starter, but have you talked to your coach yet? But I mean, I worry about that. I think the Eagles' offensive coordinator was their best coach on staff last year. I would prefer that Irsay just stay out the way, but it doesn't seem like he's going to. He's got a lot of Jerry Jones in him, and so I mean, Richardson paired with this guy, I thought was the best fit coming into the draft, so I wasn't mad about the pick. And if he's given time, I think he can be an extremely dangerous quarterback at the next level. But if you rush it, man, it's really delicate. If you rush it, there's going to be some issues. Minshew isn't awful. He can handle it for at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
but it just kind of depends. But I would be interested in that matchup as well. A lot of rookies in that.
Well, and how many times have you seen a top quarterback come out, get thrown into the league way too soon, and then their time ends real quickly? Vince Young, Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, a lot of those guys that that just didn't pan out as well. And if hopefully we'll see what happens. And Anthony Richardson could be the Lamar Jackson of the future, or the Cam Newton of the future, with the right coaches at the helm making the right decisions. We'll keep moving quickly. The Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers in Week 8. That's October 29th. That's just another one because you potentially have a C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young matchup in that one too.
And those guys are such good friends too that makes that matchup even more appealing.
Awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting rookie stories will be going into this NFL season to see who's really getting involved. And then November 5th, Week 9, Sunday Night Football. You got the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously a huge AFC matchup, especially a Week 9, about little over halfway through the season. Could be a pivotal matchup for that AFC, a primetime football game. And then November 9th, Week 10, the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young potentially facing off against Justin Fields like they did, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Then you've got this is another great Monday Night Football game. You got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl matchup from this past season. Obviously will be a huge game. Be interesting to see if, yes, sir.
No, Ryan, I was going to say, you said it's a year of the first coming up. Oh, there you go.
Got him.
I got it.
Got him with the crickets.
He said a year of the first. Hey, what you think? Cleveland Browns win Super Bowl, or Miami Dolphins potentially win Super Bowl? Is there a year of the first coming on?
No, not for either one of those teams.
No.
Oh, man. Give me some love, D. Hayes. Give me some love.
Hey, did you guys see the clip with Andy Reid went on the Kelsey podcast, and he was telling the story he never told anybody, but there was a point where he was talking to Patrick Mahomes, and the tight end for the Eagles made a good catch, and he forgot for a second he was the Chiefs coach. He's like, man, that's a great catch. And he was like, wait. That's hilarious.
That Kelsey podcast is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one for sure. And then one I want to dive into just for a second, the big matchup, December 3rd, Week 13, the San Francisco 49ers travel back to the city of brotherly love, where there's not a lot of love going on for the opposite teams in that particular city. That's going to really be interesting to see where both of these teams' records are at that point and where it's kind of trending in the playoffs. But to have that matchup kind of on the very back end of the season could be a very important matchup for potential home field advantage in the playoffs and other things. Niners want revenge. There's no doubt about it. That's gonna be like a playoff atmosphere in that football game, and that'll be a lot of fun to watch that one. What do you think about that one, Alan?
Yeah, I think everybody and their mama on the Niners sideline is just like, if we had a quarterback, things would have been a little different.
Oh, yeah.
And the Eagles rightfully say it doesn't matter. You play with who you got, yada, yada. But, again, come on.
It's easy to say that when you're going against Johnson, who's technically your fourth-string quarterback.
Yeah, so, I definitely want to see it. I would love nothing better than to beat the Eagles, just because of my in-laws and then my son and my wife. Like it's a wonderful thing to have a silent house. So I think it's going to be the same matchup. The Eagles are a very athletic defense. We know what they can do on offense. And then it's just going to come down to which team is healthier at that time of year,
no
man.
doubt.
That's going to be really interesting.
What's it looking like for Jalen Hurts? Is he healthy at that time? I mean, has Brock got healthy enough to be the starter? Is he the starter? Or, what happens in the very beginning of the season? A lot of question marks to talk about a game so far in the future, but interesting to see that, Hargrave will be going back to Philadelphia, but wearing the white and red at that point versus the black and green.
I'm not going to lie. As a guy who likes the trenches, I'm so excited to get him. Just one of the funny, statistics about him. Last year, I think the Niners combined interior defensive linemen had 60 pressures, and this man by himself had 66.
Yes. And now imagine freeing up Bosa. I mean, their defensive line and their linebacking core, even though they lost Dre Greenlaw, still just their front seven is just stout. They're still number one defense going into the season. And, man, I'm so looking forward to this one because of what happened last year. You're going on this great run with Brock Purdy, and then something like that happens. It's just brutal to see as a fan, and I couldn't even. Did you happen to see Debo and Kevin Hart in his show? I forget what it's called, where they go in the ice baths.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one.
It's another good one for sure.
I'll have to take a look. He's got some classic ones. He did one with Floyd Mayweather where he insulted him, and Mayweather was like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I'm sorry, champ."
I saw the ice bath. I saw where Wahlberg's doing the ice baths, too. What's up with that, man? That does not sound fun at all. Ice bath?
As a former athlete, I will tell you, it is 100% not fun.
Yeah.
But once you get in that bad boy and you get out, you will feel so much better. Recovery time is so much quicker with an ice bath. That's where that comes from.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. I'm not going to say the name. Yeah. I don't know if you can say it.
Yeah.
Cold as balls. Yeah, cold as balls. David said it. We're good. We're good.
I didn't know if that was FCC good or what. So I was like,
it is now. It is now. But yeah. No. So yeah.
Hey,
good.
One of the storylines that I don't think people are talking about with the Eagles, man, their staff has a lot of turnover, and that's what did Doug Peterson in after his Super Bowl season. The staff got gutted. Defensive coordinator was gone. The offensive coordinator was gone. They usually take people within the staff as well. That's what happened to this coach here recently. After last year's Super Bowl, he lost his defensive coordinator, lost his offensive coordinator. You probably got assistants that left as well. We got to see what this team will look like without that staff, because last year what ended up doing them in was the fact that their staff just wasn't as good as the Chiefs staff.
Yep.
I think 100%. We know what they have on the field, but it's what they have on the sidelines that I think will be the biggest storyline for the Eagles.
Yeah, especially with the Chiefs running the exact same play twice, but just on different sides of the field and getting
and they ran it wrong the second time.
Yeah, exactly. It still scored a touchdown, which is a great play, by the way, that may or may not be in the Dynasty Youth Flag Football playbook. It is.
Hey, did you see where they got that play from?
No.
They got that play from Doug Peterson in the Jacksonville game. Week 4 or 5. You guys can go back and look at it if you want. But it's like week 4 or 5. He scored on a play. And what he found was that when they ran that look, the slot guy, when they put him in motion, I think was left uncovered. Because what would happen is that they would be in man-to-man and they would switch off. And the communication wasn't there to get the switch quick enough. So if you look at the play where Patrick just runs it anyway, they do the motion, but he knows that this guy isn't going to switch off anyway. That's why he was like, F it, just run it.
Huh.
And it's open. It's crazy that it took that level of preparation to find that from week 4 or 5 and implement that in 2 key situations, and that's really what made the game.
Yeah, it's 100% what made the game twice, which is crazy. Real quick, there's a couple more games on there, but I want to pivot and get your thoughts. We'll take the 4 conference championship teams and the 2 that ended up in the Super Bowl and their over-under win total for next year. We'll start, since we're talking about it, we'll start with the San Francisco 49ers. Projected win total for them, My internet just decided to go slowly. But let me jump back into that. Here, we'll go two more games. You've got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs on December 10th. That's week 14. Obviously, these late season matchups, I mean, what are the chances you're going to see the Chiefs and the Bills again playing each other in the AFC Championship? What do you think about that one?
Chiefs Bills, man, it's always going to come down to who has the ball last.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you look at even the Bengals games. It's always the team that makes the other team kick at least one field goal that wins. And I think the Chiefs are at this point. The Chiefs are in the Bengals' head, the Bills' head, more than the Bills are in the Chiefs' head, and then vice versa. The Bengals are in the Bills' head. So it's just kind of like this weird three-way match. So anytime the Chiefs match up against the Bills, typically I've got the Bills during the regular season. And then when it's the Bengals versus the Bills, I got the Bengals. And then when it's the Chiefs versus the Bengals, it's always a toss-up.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's turned into this threesome of playing each other, and the Chiefs just continue to make stuff happen. Obviously, the Bengals went 2 years ago. All right, Niners over/under for the season, 11.5. What do you think?
Oh, over.
Over. I like it. David's booing back there, but yeah, I like it too. I mean, if they stabilize and they have a good quarterback situation going into it, 2 away games to start the season, and then playing on a Thursday night primetime game for their first home. I think it's a Thursday night, maybe a Sunday night.
I got to go under on that as well.
Under?
Yeah, I'm going under. I'm going with D. Hayes.
I'm thinking kind of a. Jay gets the sound effects. I like this. Jay gets the sound effects. That's perfect. I'm gonna say I think they get 14 wins this season. They're obviously probably gonna have a couple hiccups, but with their defense, they lost several people, but they added some serious contenders, and they still got all their weapons on offense, and they have Christian McCaffrey this entire year. And I think the pressure that Christian McCaffrey took off of Kittle and Debo and Ayuk, and how do you guard all 4 of those guys with Shanahan's offense?
I don't know. I think you 49ers fans, in my opinion, got a little. I'm going to use the word infatuated with the Brock Purdy.
He's going to hit you with it again.
No, I mean he's right. There should technically
I think he cools off.
Slump.
I think he cools off a little bit in the first half.
I do.
But what keeps me optimistic is that Brock doesn't turn the ball over at a high clip, and he's smart enough to get the ball to his playmakers, almost as if the coach is demanding that you get the ball to the playmakers. And having watched him through his Iowa State days, like he's a great quarterback when you don't ask too much out of him, and as long as we keep putting him in situations where we're not asking too much, then I think we'll always come out on top.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the 49ers so successful each and every year under Kyle Shanahan is it really doesn't matter who you trot out there. Then you have the addition of Christian McCaffrey. It's like why Daniel Jones benefited so much last year because he had a healthy Saquon Barkley. You bring in Christian McCaffrey and then the rest of the litany of talent that they have around. I mean, Brock Purdy, as long as he doesn't make mistakes like Alan is saying, the 49ers are going to be in great position. Now, 11.5, that's tough, man, because they always seem to kind of start slow and then they pick up during the middle of the year. But with a full time, I mean, you've got Christian McCaffrey to start the year. It could be very dangerous for the rest of the NFC West.
And besides Christian, they've got a great running back room too, even losing all these guys mainly to the Miami Dolphins. But yeah.
Hey, and to be fair, I'm factoring in the fact that the Cardinals and Rams, I think, are still not all that good.
Oh,
so we have to beat them both times when we play them. If we split with them, then we're at 11.
And I think last year, it was an NFC West sweep. I don't think we lost a game in the NFC West last year. I could be wrong about that. Real quick on the Philadelphia Eagles, 10.5, over or under? That's a tough one. Because a lot, like you said, the coaching situation. Jalen Hurts is one misstep or one hit from getting injured, and without Jalen Hurts, I think that changes the team completely.
I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to say under, but only at 10, not like 9 or 10. Right at 10.
Not 6 and 10 on the season. Yeah. Well, and, that they got to play each team in the NFC East twice, and as much as I dislike the Cowboys, happen to play them twice. The Commanders are on the up and up, and then the Giants did, in fact, they're looking good again this year with Daniel Jones having a pretty decent year last year. So by far the hardest, I think, division in the AFC West is pretty strong too. But the NFC East having to play all those games right there, I mean, you could easily split or lose 2 to each of those teams.
The thoughts I'm thinking about, Alan, you're bringing in obviously a lot of young dogs. I mean, no pun intended, but you're bringing in a lot of young dogs.
A lot of young dogs that get in trouble for driving with suspended licenses and still getting drafted in the first round.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That's right. They're going to Philadelphia, so it's like a perfect marriage.
Yeah, right. But is the young better in the NFL? I mean, is the veteran in the NFL? I think young is better in the NFL. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over on that over under win with the Eagles.
Youth works as long as you got the right veteran leadership in the right spots. And if you think about it, they still got Fletcher Cox. He can help Jalen Carter. They still got. They still got Dean, or not Dean. They still got their linebackers and other people in spots. They got leadership, so it's a good blend of young and old on that team. I would also say that the real kicker for the Eagles is going to be as far as their division goes. How do they handle the road games this year as well? Because again, new staff. Preparation I think you'll get a good read on whether they're going to be over or under within the first month.
Yeah.
Rick says that he sees the Eagles getting 11.
11? So the over. I think 11's fair. I mean, that's why 10 and a half is a good number. It's going to be tight, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think about taking a girl to a dance and you don't know her very well? I mean, it's a little different than going to the dance with.
Hit it with some kind of sound effect again.
You guys stood up.
We're running out of sound effects to play. I've got to repopulate.
Get our cue back in order. But Alan, we mind if you hang on for just a little bit longer? I want to talk about a couple more teams before we finish the show today. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. That NFL schedule came out yesterday, so we are breaking down some of these teams over under and getting everybody's thoughts, including our very own Jay Henley's thoughts on some of these over under. You can compare a football team that's young to taking a girl to a dance for the first time. You just don't know what to expect.
You never know.
And in this day and age, these kids are crazy, so they're dancing all over the dang place.
That's right.
We'll be right back from inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey,
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
You know the break room for the best pool tables in Bay County. But did you know they now serve delicious food? Check out the break room's daily lunch and dinner specials like spaghetti and meatballs, meatloaf with mashed potatoes, air-fried chicken, and more. Plus the best burgers, hot dogs, and you gotta try the Sammy of the day. The break room on Panama City Beach at the corner of Joan Avenue and North Lagoon. For more information, check them out on Facebook.
Chef Ross here. We're open daily at 11 at the break room. My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue? Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is how we do it.
It is soon to be Friday night, so a perfect segue there by our producer, David Hayes. Also the host of the Afternoon Underdogs, which you can tune into this afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. on ESPN Northwest Florida, and getting ready for that beautiful weekend on the water every Friday afternoon at 4:20 p.m. You have the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report with Tim Braddock live telling you about the water conditions, where the hot fish are running, where to be, and maybe one day I'll learn how to catch a fish in the bayou behind my house.
Yeah,
soon to be house. We're not quite there yet, but we went out there last weekend and threw some lines and a lot of action, but nothing landed. So
Just got to get.
It's kind of like when you take the girl to the dance the first time.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
But you're sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Speaking of water, if you need to get your boat back out there on the water faster than everybody else around, go visit the Kramer Marine and Outdoor dealership, as they are a Yamaha outboard full-line dealer with Yamaha Master Certified mechanics on staff. We have Alan Sandage on the line, and we are breaking down the over-under on some of these NFL teams as the NFL schedule was released last night, with a lot of fun games coming up. This is the time of year when the schedule of the season comes out. It's like, dang, it's so long away. But it'll be here before we know it, that's for sure. And I've got to go this afternoon and jump on one of the sites and find some tickets to that Niners-Jacksonville game, because that's always a fun one to go over there for. I think that's going to be on November 12th this year. So I'm guessing there'll probably be some Jets flying over and some other cool stuff going on for Veterans Day the day before.
Is the preseason schedule out as well?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. I don't know if anybody actually watches preseason NFL football, though, Jay.
Come on.
You got to see some of the rookies and see what they're doing for sure. But let's jump right back into it. The other side of it, the AFC, the Chiefs are defending Super Bowl champions again, it seems like. They've got the over-under win total at 11.5. What do you think about that, Alan?
For what team?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs, 11.5. I think that's an over.
It's hard. It's hard not to give it the over, because
I will give them the dynasty moniker that they said that they were approaching probably 3-4 years ago. I think they are finally that team. So 12 is expected.
Yeah, definitely. 12-4 would be, anything less than that would probably be a.
Well, they got the 17th game now, so 12-5.
12-5, or let's go 13-4. 13-4 out there for them. I've got a couple good friends here locally that are big Chiefs fans, and when they beat the Niners a few years ago, that was extremely disappointing. And then the dynasty,
it was pain.
Jimmy, killing us. Well, then
go ahead. If we just try to go for the points before the half,
win, play to win.
I'll never forget it, and I said it to the Eagles too. Look, you're not ever going to hold Patrick Mahomes in this offense to 20 points.
No.
You can cancel that. You need at least 27 to beat this team on their worst day.
Yep, and you got to go for points. You can't. I hate when teams do that. And then, not to be bitter about the Niners, and then in the NFC Championship against the Rams, Jimmy Ward just drops a bread. It reminded me a little bit about the adult flag football game that we played in the winter. I hate to always dig on Jay, but he's in the studio here with me. Wide open in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
We're playing good football. I hit him with a 30-yard dart, and he's right there. Hits him right in the gut, and it just falls down on the ground. But you're not a professional NFL player. That Jimmy Ward drops literally a lob pass from Matt Stafford, like 40 yards down the middle of the field, right in it. He catches that ball, intercepts it. There's no doubt the Niners go on to win that game.
Ryan, you're thinking about all the bad moments. What about the good moments I brought? What about the good moments, man?
Crickets, David.
You're only as good as your last highlight, man.
That's right. You're only as good as your last play. I always tell me you're only as good as your last game, whether it's a win or a loss. That's it. But no, you did fantastic. I mean, your defense was locked down. Locked down.
Yeah, it was. But hey, no. Just change it a little bit. So look, man, it may take me an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. So I'm just figuring out. that you're a 49ers fan, Alan. So how did that? So I've gotten Ryan's backlog on this. How did you become the big 49ers fan you are, dude?
When I was young, I only got to stay awake to watch Monday Night Football games during Christmas break, and it was always Niners versus Giants.
Ah.
And so I didn't want to be a Giants fan because my least favorite cousin was a Giants fan, and my father.
It's funny how it all works out.
Yeah, he had all this 49er merchandise anyway, so I was like, we're rivals. I'll pick the Niners. And as I got older and learned more about football, again, I love innovators. Bill Walsh is literally the best innovator in the game,
NFL history.
And I just stuck with it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, Montana was quarterback when I was growing up. Who was the quarterback for you growing up?
I got a couple years in Montana, and then with Steve Young.
Yeah, Alan's probably about the same as me because I came in right in the mid '80s, and I was born in the Bay Area. I was actually born in between San Francisco and Oakland. Now they play in Santa Clara, but yeah, it's just it's funny how it all works, and that's why Liam's a Niners fan because he growing up watching me watch Niners games on the couch, and all of a sudden he starts loving football and just dives into George Kittle, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
and he absolutely.
Yeah, well, you guys want to hear how my son became an Eagles fan?
Yes, of course.
I bet the Patriots in that Super Bowl. Yeah.
There you go.
Philly.
Yep.
That's great.
And that's all it takes. It's one moment in time, and you can become a fan for the rest of your life.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works for Georgia fans, for sure. For sure. They win one national championship, and then 30 years later they do it again, and everybody's on that bandwagon.
I've been on the bandwagon.
I'm not saying you're on the bandwagon. You're Georgia born and bred.
Yeah.
Hey, when the season starts, you guys can touch base with Keith too. My son is a legitimate sports capper. I don't know how he does it, but we had a super contest where you pick against the spread, and it was all adults and my 5-year-old, and he was beating them for 12 weeks.
That's so cool.
Then he's 5, so he's like, wait, what do I get out of this? And I was like, you just get to say you won. And he was like, no, I want cookies. And he stopped picking.
He's like, if I don't have any pig in this, I'm not one to pick anymore.
Yeah.
That was funny. We had Chris Kramer on the show yesterday, and he was talking about his oldest son, Chris. He asked Billy Napier the question, and he said, and then Billy Napier asked him back. You heard it. But Beth was telling me, she's like, you need to have like a kids sports betting segment where we bring in kids and let them call the games and do all that stuff.
Heck yeah, man.
I don't think that's
It'd be looking like Brad Bohannon around here.
Just make sure whatever you do, as long as you don't pay him and he goes on to be a collegiate athlete, the NCAA can't say anything.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
Heck, the NCAA football will just be minor league NFL here pretty soon anyway, so all good. Hey, one more team, I'll get your prediction. It's right in that same spot. It seems like the 4 at championship teams in both the NFC and the AFC are all right around that 10, 11, 12. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at over-under at 11.5. Same as the Chiefs.
I keep knocking these Bengals. I'm not a fan of their offensive line. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna be contrarian. I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna go under.
Well, it's can they keeping it up? I mean, obviously Joe Burrow, you just can't bet against Joe Burrow, it seems like, and their receiving core just absolutely ridiculous. I want to throw 1 or 2 more out there just because they seem to be on the up and up. The Jacksonville Jaguars, over under 9.5 with their schedule that just came out.
God, they gotta get over, man. That division is like it's nothing.
Literally.
You should get 6 wins.
Dude, I love the smaller market NFL teams, though. I mean, Jacksonville's obviously a smaller market. Cincinnati's a smaller market. I would love to see the Jaguars or Cincinnati kind of pull through and do something special this year.
This is one close to your heart and Keith's heart. The Atlanta Falcons at 8. Over under on that one.
Ooh.
If Keith is listening, way under.
Yeah, he'd be like -6.
We, bless his heart, man, we have been back and forth about Ritter. And I don't know where he is on it right now, but I know he was pretty optimistic when they picked him up. And I was super pessimistic. So I think this is a good year to gauge how he really could be. And if he's not a good quarterback, I really think Atlanta just needs to cut ties with him as soon as possible.
Well, and interesting, too, they made the move in the offseason to pick up Taylor Heineke as well, who did some pretty good work for the Commanders. But, again, that division, the NFC South, is kind of, wide open and crazy with the Bucs not having Brady anymore. And then you got the Saints now with Derek Carr and then Bryce Young at the Panthers. So I think that's going to be kind of a wild division to see what all shakes out in that one.
Yeah, for sure.
And then,
and I think it's a good spot if you ask me, if you're a Saints fan, it's a good spot because you have the quarterbacking edge right now because everybody else is playing with Baker Mayfield. We know what he can do. Ritter, we kind of know what he can do. I don't think he's a game changer. And then you got a rookie in Carolina. So you have your veteran defense with the Saints. Dennis Allen has a slight coaching edge over everybody too. And then you bring in Carr. It's like, come on, this is a gimme for the division. So if you don't win the division this year as the Saints, I would be really disappointed.
Well, and if Michael Thomas is supposedly supposed to be back, and if he can get his head out of his you-know-what and actually start playing some football again, yeah, I do think it's definitely the Saints division to lose. They have an over-under projection of 9.5. So that kind of shows you right there, even at 9 and 8 if they finish the season that way.
Well, we talked about it the other day. They're selling Chick-fil-A sandwiches on Sundays at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That could be a hex. That could be a hex for the Falcons.
God don't like ugly. I'm telling you, man. Right. I know firsthand.
That's right.
Oh, Allie, we're about to be finishing up our Friday edition of the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Appreciate you calling in and giving us all your expertise and a regular contributor with us here. You can check out Alan Sandage. It's at ActivelyLazy85, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's a great handle.
That is a great handle.
That is me to a T, man.
Actively lazy, gambling degenerate. Yes. Real quick before we let you off the line, 2 big games tonight. The Heat have a chance to win the series as well as the Lakers. Both games are at home. Who do you got in those 2 games?
Gambling tidbit for you guys, Scott Foster officiating the Heat's game. I think they have lost 10 straight when he is the official. Ooh. I don't know what the NBA needs to do to get rid of Scott Foster as a whole. There was a point where Chris Paul was like 0-14 in games that Scott Foster has officiated. He's clearly a jinx. Not looking good for the Heat. I'm not going to get in the way of that. I'm going to take the Knicks tonight. I'm scared.
There you go. And then does Golden State hang on and bring it back to a Game 7 back up there in San Francisco, or do the Lakers move on? And I guess it's going to probably come down to Anthony Davis, right? If he gets over his boo-boo head.
my heart wants the Warriors just because having LeBron with the Lakers, that combination is not anything we wanted in sports. Laker fans and LeBron fans.
Yeah.
It's all up to Boo Davis. If he's okay, I think he'll have a great game. And then that'll be the deciding factor. Because again, the guys that contribute to the Warriors, man, they're role players. Role players don't typically play well on the road, so that has me a little worried. But if we get 50-point Steph,
there you go.
Know.
They could end up. So there you go.
You think?
Take the Knicks. Probably take the Lakers unless your heart wants to take the Warriors. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be back Monday morning at 11 a.m. Join the afternoon underdogs in the Bays Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report this afternoon between 4 and 6. We'll see you next week.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 99% rate, the U.S. economy is
And tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast.